Hi, I'm Paul Butler. I'm one of the client partners at New Leaf Training and Development, and I'm joined today by Shannon Larremore, who is a global manager for talent development with Boston Scientific, an organization I'm delighted to say is a client of ours. Hey, Shannon, the purpose of these Take Fives is to give people some practical help, provide some hope, and even sprinkle a little bit of humor. So I've just got one question, which I'd love you to run with for about 4 minutes or so, as we do call these Take Five for a reason. So here's the question. What are you learning personally and professionally, and even as an organization during these rather challenging days that you think would be helpful, hopeful, and even a little bit humorous? And while you're at it, tell us a little bit more about Boston Scientific as well, what you guys do and who you serve. And so over to you, Shannon. I'll wrap it up when we're done.
Great, thank you, Paul. So as you mentioned, I'm from Boston Scientific, and the great thing, I think the really inspiring thing that Boston does is we are a really innovative medical device company. And so we not only, provide life-saving devices, we also provide kind of life-changing devices. So for example, pain management is a big kind of a topic nowadays. And so we have a device that actually helps manage pain without any sort of, prescription intervention, if you will. So they really serve a broad audience. We're a global organization, been in business for many, many years. We've got about, upwards of 30,000 employees. Wow. All throughout the US, all throughout really the world. So that is a little bit of who Boston is. And so kind of answering your question around, kind of what have I learned, what has the organization learned kind of during these times? Gosh, really a couple things stand out to me. I think the biggest thing that I've personally learned through all of this is the ability for myself, as a kind of learning and development leader, to really be agile in kind of this environment. And so it's not necessarily thinking, kind of what learning, so to speak, can we push out, but really what is most important to our audience. And so I think it's really shifting, and we've done a big push within Boston around, not just saying, now's a good time to, brush up on all of your learning, but more so, what do you need to help support you as an individual? And really what we heard is we need resources around, how do I manage, working while also taking care of a 5-year-old? How do I really manage my home? How do I manage my work schedule? What are resources available to me just to help support me during this, kind of unusual time that we're in? I think I've really learned that, it's not about kind of what's in my mind of, gosh, this is a great time to catch up on all your, your learning that you need to do, but really what's going to best support the employees. And so we've really pivoted and really given employees resources to help support them and given them space, and flexibility in their schedule so that they're not feeling like they've got to kind of clock the hours, if you will. It's not a 9-to-5 schedule anymore. It looks very, very different. So how do we then help them manage that? I think that's one of the things I've learned is we've got to be flexible, especially in this day and age. And I think the organizations learn that really quickly is, how can we be flexible with employees? Because at the end of the day, employees are your best commodity, and you want to retain them, you want to engage them, and you've got to meet them where they're at. And so that's, I think, one thing that stood out to me, just from my own personal learning, and then, kind of across the organization.
Brilliant. Well, on behalf of everyone that watches these, thanks again, Shannon, for your insights. And thank you again for the great work that you and Boston Scientific does to help people. Again, thanks ever so much, Shannon.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate being here.